Taped from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, a show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
How you doing, John Trumbull?
You put some English on that, nerd out.
Some Anglish, oi.
Yeah, you went all Wolfman Jack for a second there.
Yeah, I'm trying to spice up the openings every time. I'm trying to
vary it up. Yeah, I like it.
I'm trying to put some stank on it, as the kids say.
The kids do say that, don't they?
The kids I hang out with say that.
Yeah, and the kids you hang out with are all like 45.
Yeah, they're kids to me. We're young at heart, John.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. How you been, sir? Doing okay during the cold, chilly winter months?
Doing okay. We thankfully haven't gotten hit too badly here in New Jersey. Like the nor'easter kind of passed us by.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fairly lucky in that regard. Haven't had to break out the old winter boots too much. So
yeah, that's true. The rain kind of washed everything, all the ice and stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the rain again, coming on your head like a tragedy. And we're doing all right over here on the East Coast, on the east side of things.
Mm-hmm. We're surviving.
Yeah, that's right.
So
striving and surviving.
Yeah, but how are you doing? You had a decent week?
Yeah, not too shabby. Had a little bit of an ear infection because I still don't know how I got it, but like my ear doctor was like, "Whoa, what's going on in there, fella? Your ear is all janked up." So I had to get a little medicine. I'm on the mend, and I'm happy to report my ear is almost back in tip-top shape. I'll be able to hear again and do all the fantastic ear things soon enough.
Yay!
That's
Yay
right.
for modern medicine.
Yay. Trust the science, people. Trust the science.
Trust the science, yes. Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad it wasn't like a career-threatening injury.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have to retire from hearing.
Yeah.
I have to think about it again. It's like, I can't hear anymore, coach. I'm out.
Yeah. And, and speaking of career-threatening injuries, that figures into the plot of the movie that we're covering this week. We're covering Melissa Rauch's movie from 2015, The Bronze.
Yeah, this was a interesting choice. I mean, we chose this one because of the Olympics, and I remember you brought it up first, where you're like, "Hey, maybe we should do this movie, The Bronze." And when you mentioned it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of remember that movie."
Yeah, I think I was just randomly watching the trailer online because I enjoy Melissa Rauch. I think she's funny. I became a fan of hers when she was on Best Week Ever. She was one of the recurring panelists on that, and I watched her a few times on The Big Bang Theory. I like her a lot. I don't particularly like The Big Bang Theory as a show personally, but I like the actors on it in general. So yeah, I would watch the odd episode, and I'm like, okay, well, she's good in a show I don't like too much. Not for me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like, it's weird. I know tons of people love Big Bang Theory. I know it's one of the most popular sitcoms in years. Like,
I think it is officially. Oh, I think it's like the longest running network sitcom. I mean, longer than anything except It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I believe.
Yeah, it was on for years. It's in syndication, and like lots of people really love it. Like people whose opinion I value say, "Oh no, it's really funny." Like my sister loves it. We listen to this podcast. Hey, Mel.
Yeah. I watched it for I think about a year, and then I was like, okay, I think I got my fill of this. And I mean, I like as okay, I'll just go on a quick Big Bang Theory rant and then just move on. If you like it, fine. That's fine. For me, I think I was kind of done with it when I realized like the subtext of every joke was about making fun of the geeks on the show. It was always just like, oh, look at them with like their emotions and the silly things they're into. Oh, it's almost like they're people. Like every joke on the show was like from the point of view of somebody who's not into geek stuff. And I think there are other better shows that are truly by and about geeks,
Yes.
Like, I mean, two off the top of my head, Community and the Venture Brothers, I think have more of a genuine geek point of view.
Right. Geek
Uh,
representation matters, John.
yeah, 100%. No,
But
I'm
but yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I've watched a couple episodes, and I was like, all right, I think I mean, I don't know. I thought the jokes were kind of weak, and it just seemed very
yeah,
formulaic, and it just seemed like, all right, oh, the whole joke is that they're awkward nerds, and they're,
yeah.
it's like, oh, nerds don't know how to talk to girls. All right, that's just a fresh new take. It
Right,
was
right.
it was like you said. It was literally like by people who never really hung out or talked to nerds, and like this is just what their general idea of a nerd is. All the stereo. It'd be like if we wrote a sitcom about jocks, and it would just be
Exactly. And
about
there would be things that we would get wrong about that subculture, and that's the vibe that I get from Big Bang Theory. Um,
yeah.
so
So yeah, I'm not a fan, but
hey, if you like the show, fine, that's great. I'm glad there's something that you enjoy, and it's important to have things that you enjoy. So yes,
yes. But just know you are wrong and we are correct.
right, exactly, exactly.
But
Um,
yeah, I mean, like you said, Melissa Rauch is cool. Jersey's own Melissa Rauch.
she is
Uh,
a Jersey girl. Yes, her
from
her Twitter bio says Jersey girl. So
yes, from Marlborough Township,
mm,
and I think that's like
I don't know
around.
what that is.
I think that's near like Red Bank and stuff. It's in
Oh,
it's,
okay,
it's
some more South Jersey.
yeah, it's in Monmouth County.
Okay, okay. So
So
she does that mean she calls it a Taylor ham or a pork roll? I forget which is which.
dude, let's not go down this rabbit hole. We don't
Okay,
want to divide our audience.
I'm not going to open that can of worms. Yeah.
Like, I mean,
But I
my
mean,
God.
but this movie it stars Melissa Rauch, Gary Cole, Thomas Middleditch, Sebastian Stan, and the SNL connection, which you're probably wondering when we were going to get to, Cecily Strong.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah, so right there, Cecily Strong is in it. Not the biggest part in the world. I had no idea, but I was watching the trailer for this movie, and like Cecily Strong popped up, and I was like, oh wow, I had no idea she was in this movie, and that gave us the SNL connection. So I was like, hey, why don't we do this? Last
Yeah.
year for the Olympics, we did what was the ice skating movie with Will Ferrell?
Oh, Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory. We did Blades of Glory. So I was like, let's do another Olympic themed movie because the Winter Olympics are ending again. So we'll do a movie about the gymnast.
Yeah. Yeah. So this movie came out March 18, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
This was written by Roush and her husband Winston.
Mm-hmm.
It's directed by Brian Buckley, who seems to be primarily a commercial director. Actually, I think
Hmm.
I I looked up his thing, and he seems to be like the commercial director. Like, I think he was known as like the Super Bowl ad king, just because he had directed so many commercials that ended up in the Super Bowl. In the
Oh,
Super Bowl.
interesting. I didn't know
So,
that. Yeah, he's not a name I heard before, but this movie it was produced by the Duplass brothers, Jay and Mark Duplass, and I've seen some of their stuff. I liked their movie that they did with Jonah Hill and John C. Riley, Cyrus.
oh
A lot
yeah,
of
that's a
people saw that when that was in theaters, and I was impressed with that. So I was like, "Oh, okay. I didn't know they had something to do with this." So, yeah, I've got the DVD that I rented from my local library, and I've got the
mhm.
description here. I can go ahead and read that if you'd like.
Sure. Actually, before that, I kind of wanted to talk about a TV show that is also SNL
Oh
related
yes. Okay.
that I actually got into this week. So guys, if you follow me on the Facebooks, as you know, as most of you do, because I'm nice like that.
He's
Uh,
awesome.
I really got into the show Murderville that just got released on Netflix.
Now, I haven't watched Murderville yet my own self, but I understand it's like a murder mystery, but it's also partially improvised. They have like a guest actor on each week, and the guest actor does not know they do not know the plot of the show. They just have to follow along and try and pick up clues as they go. Am I describing it right?
Yeah, so basically in Murderville, it's actually the whole show is based on a show in the UK, a British show called Murder in Successville. So
Our title is much, much better.
it really is Murder in Successful. When I read that, I was like, what?
That's a
That's
clunky title. Murderville. Boom.
yeah, just get it all. Just get
That's
one quick thing. Look,
that's
Murderville, boom, looks good on a hat.
that's yeah, that's why America's better.
Yeah, Murka,
America.
fuck yeah. Yeah. So in Murderville, it's Will Arnett's in it. He's also the executive producer, and
Hmm.
on the show he plays Detective Terry Seattle,
Good,
and
good name.
that's another great name.
Good
Um,
American name.
yeah, Terry Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
In
like
the
you said.
British version, he's like Terry Nottingham or something like that.
Good morrow, I'm Charles Balderdash, Detective Charles Balderdash.
I'm Wilfred St. John Talbot.
The third.
I'm here to solve this mystery.
Smoking out of like one of those Sherlock Holmes pipes.
Yeah, yeah, the calabash.
Apologize to any of our British listeners right now who we're probably upsetting. It's like, hey, we don't talk about that.
We apologize, but hey, it's not our fault that you're lame.
Wow. Oh wow. This is wow. We're
I'm
turning all
burning
red.
all the bridges.
Burn them all. So anyway, so on Murderville, Will Arnett plays Detective Terry Seattle, and it's like you said, each episode they have a celebrity guest come in as his partner, his new trainee partner,
Mhm.
and
And
then
are
they
they playing themselves?
yes, they
Okay,
always introduce him as, hey, this is so and so,
okay.
and so they keep their own name, and then they go out and they try to solve a mystery, a murder mystery that just happened. So they go to the scene of the crime, pick up
Mhm.
all the clues. The person who's working forensics there is pointing out the clues that they find out what they obtain, and then they go talk to each of the suspects. There's always three suspects. Now,
Nice.
it's like what you said. The thing is, everybody who's acting this out, they have a script. They know what's going to happen. The celebrity guest does not know what's happening.
So this is almost like a dinner theater sort of thing where you go and you have a nice meal and then you try to solve the murder mystery.
Yes, very much so. And
Mm.
yeah, so it's like them sort of figuring out clues, them talking to a lot of the suspects, and of course, improvising things here and there. There's like a few things where Will is like, "All right, I need you to go undercover and put in this earpiece. I'll tell you exactly what to say." And it's
Mm.
them going undercover, and it's like Will feeding him lines, and of
Nice.
course, the lines are always ridiculous and absurd.
This sounds like a cool show. So it's pretty funny.
It is funny, and it's actually you also actually have to be paying attention because as it's going on, as they talk to all the suspects are giving you clues as to who done it. So
Right.
you really have to be paying attention. And at the end of the show, they bring in all three suspects, and the celebrity guest has to point out who they think did the murder.
Uh-huh.
And then they say, "Why do you think it?" They have to back it up. And
Nice.
then the police chief says if they're right or not. And yeah, and then after that, like after the police chief said that they're right or not, then they go back and say, well, it couldn't have been him because of this, this, and this, and it could have been her because she was doing this, this, and this. So,
If you're a
like,
comedy fan and a mystery fan, it sounds like this would be up your alley.
absolutely. If you enjoy solving mysteries and you enjoy improv, you'll really like this. The
Which
celebrity.
I do. I tag along with my local police as often as I can, and I try to solve mysteries along with them. And my assistance is not welcome. Uh, they often say, "You are not a policeman. You should go home." And,
We're not doing ride along, sir. You have to leave.
yeah,
We've told you this,
they
John.
are like, "Stay 50 feet away at all times. You are not authorized to solve murders." Uh,
Oh dear, John. When will
but,
you learn?
so
But I
yeah.
want to fight crime.
Yeah, I do. I mean, maybe the fact that I'm wearing a Robin outfit is a little off-putting for them, but
Yeah. It might be the
I
fact
look
that
good in shorts. I mean,
yeah.
I've got nice legs.
Is it the Adam West, Burt Ward Robin,
Yeah,
or the
of
Christopher?
course. I
Is that the
mean,
Chris O'Donnell version of it?
no, puh, patooey. No,
That would look ridiculous.
that would. I mean, that's just way too shiny.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so Murderville, check it out. The celebrity guests they have. There's only it's a really quick watch. It's 6 episodes. Each episode's 30 minutes.
Hmm.
So the celebrity guests that they have are Ken Jeong,
Nice.
Annie Murphy from Schitt's
Ooh.
Creek.
Oh, okay, okay.
She plays Alexis. Kumail Nanjiani.
Nice. Love him.
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch, ex football
Oh,
player from the Seattle Seahawks.
and that's an offbeat choice. Okay,
It's very offbeat, but he's actually pretty funny.
all right,
Conan O'Brien
nice.
and Sharon Stone.
I heard that she was on the show. Yes, that's cool.
Yeah, so and oh, so the SNL connection. This show was also co-executive produced by Anna Drezen. She wrote two episodes, and also writers Hannah Levy and Adriana Robles wrote
Oh,
on the
cool.
show as well, and they were both segment producers on SNL.
All right, cool, cool. And where is it streaming, or where is it available?
Oh, Netflix, baby, Netflix.
Netflix. I have heard of that.
Yeah, yeah. So, Murderville, highly recommended. It's genuinely hilarious. I got some really big laughs out of it. Some you'll see the celebrity guests, sort of break and just laugh a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it. And there's also a lot of improv people sprinkled in episodes too, like David Wayne's in an episode, Rob Hubel's in an episode,
Nice.
Nicole Sullivan and Phil Lamar in an episode. You'll see like improv people
Love
throughout
Phil
it.
Lamar. Yeah.
So yeah, can't recommend it. Can't say it. Can't recommend it highly enough. Murderville. Check it out.
Yay, Murderville. Okay. All right.
All right.
Cool, cool. So check that out. But this week we are officially covering The Bronze with
Yes.
Melissa Rausch and our friend Cecily Strong, our TV friend, not real
Yes.
life friend, but fingers crossed.
Yes. Not yet.
So the description on the back of the DVD that I have says, in this breakthrough comedic performance, Melissa Rausch stars as Hope Ann Gregory, a once promising gymnast who won a bronze medal 12 years ago but is now a washed up has been, clinging to the glory days of her past. When she is asked to coach the town's newest gymnastics prodigy in exchange for a huge inheritance, she is faced with a serious dilemma. Does she jeopardize her hometown hero status by devotedly training this rising star, or sabotage her in order to preserve her own legacy? So,
Dun dun dun.
dun dun dun.
Yeah. So I think this movie came out in 2015 at Sundance, but officially had a wider quote unquote release on March 18th, 2016. Like I said, had
Yes.
a budget of 3.5 mil, made $615,000.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, kind of a sleeper. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you could say that.
yeah. But
Yeah, and I don't know. It really this one really flew under the radar, and I kind of understand why it
mhm,
made so little money because like yeah, I don't remember seeing too many ads for it. Like I remember seeing a few trailers for it online, but I didn't see any TV commercials. I don't remember it being in the theaters at all, or for very
yeah,
long.
I don't think it had a really wide release. Actually, our friend, yeah, our friend Bill Broski, he tweeted at us when we posted that we were covering this movie. He says this may be the lowest grossing movie you've ever covered on the podcast. It made 615,860 in theaters, and he says I saw it in a theater. um,
I
and
saw
then
it was in theaters.
And then he corrected himself and said, "My bad, you covered It's Pat, but that was only released in 33 theaters." Wow, I'd forgotten
Wow.
that was so
I
few.
I blocked that movie right out of my mind.
Yeah, yeah. And we asked if he liked it, and Bill Brodsky says, "Yes, I did like it. It was interesting to see Melissa Rauch playing kind of a Danny McBride like character. I think that's a good comparison. Yeah, because she plays a pretty unlikable person for most of this movie.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, it's very much like you said, like the Danny McBride, Eastbound and Down, Foot,
yeah,
basically Danny McBride's all the characters he's ever
her
played, right?
her ego is bigger than her ability. Her what is the phrase? Her ego is writing paychecks that her body can't cash.
Yes, ooh, that's very
Uh,
good.
yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, so yeah, but yeah, yeah. So it's basically that. Like she used to be like a this big gymnast back in '04.
hmm
She never got the gold. She got the bronze, but
right.
like that was enough for her to sort of coast on being like a hometown hero in Amherst, Ohio. This movie takes place in Amherst,
Yes.
which I learned is a suburb right outside of Cleveland.
hmm
And in town, she's kind of a big deal. She's also kind of in a state of, I guess, stunted adolescence or maybe arrested development because even though it's been about like 10 or 12 years since she won the bronze, she still wears her warm-up suit every day. That's she wears the warm-up suit throughout the entire movie, basically. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
she has like her hair styled the same way she did when she was a teenager.
Hmm.
And yeah, she's kind of this thing where she still kind of dresses like a kid and has like stuffed dolls and animals, but at the same time she does very adult things such as tons of pot, smokes the dope, and does has the sex.
She has the sex. Her character has the sex several times throughout the course of the movie, and I liked how the movie like opens up. It really sets up her character well. It opens up with like a big montage. You see her training since childhood, um, and finally she gets to, well, not the Olympics. Like the movie sort of basically implies it's the Olympics, but because the Olympic Committee is very strict on how they lend out their name and logo, um, it's not the Olympics. At one point, we see it's much like in Blades of Glory. We see like a sort of mock Olympic logo with like several intersecting circles, but it not the Olympics.
Right.
And
It's like the
uh,
same way you can't say like the Super Bowl in commercial. You have to say the big game.
the big game, exactly, exactly. Because if you say the Super Bowl, you have to pay somebody. Uh,
Yes.
so, which is why I talk about the superb owl. Uh, that's
Hoot hoot.
Yes, yes, it's all big celebration of owls. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So and then you see her at the games, and when she's like warming up for her routine, her gymnastics routine, she steps on the balance beam a little wrong, and
Little
she like injures her Achilles tendon,
right.
and it's sort of like a Carrie Strug sort of thing. I mean, you
Yeah, very
remember,
much so.
yeah, and but and she's like let off the floor, but then she's like, no, 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 I'm gonna go, and she goes out and she does her routine, and then she has that, much like Carrie Strug, she has that landing, and she lands, but then she's like on one foot, and but she does just well enough to get the bronze to place third. She had to score like a 9.7. She gets like a 9.8. And, because she does this on an injury, she becomes like this media sensation. Um,
Right. And
and then they cut from that to her back home in Amherst in the present day, like 12 years later, and she is watching a videotape of her victory, and she is masturbating to her own routine. And wow, that really sets up the character, man. That
it's
really tells you who the character is.
yeah, I mean she's doing that while wearing her warm-up suit and the bronze medal she won
Right,
back in
which she puts
'04.
off the wall. This is like part of her whole um her whole routine, her whole,
Yeah,
yeah.
what a way to start the day.
Mm, what a way
Uh,
to start a movie. I mean,
yeah. Whew.
and so right there, yeah, it's starting things off yeah, with a bang, as it were.
Hey-oh.
And and then she, like after she finishes that, she we see her like grinding some pills down and snorting up the powder. So yeah, she's not adjusting to post Olympic life very, very well. um she steals money from her dad's postal truck. Her dad, by the way, played by the great Gary Cole.
Underrated, criminally underrated Gary
And we
Cole.
just take a few minutes to talk about how amazing Gary Cole is in whatever he does.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think most people know him from, Office Space and Bill Lumbergh, and he's great in that, but he's also fantastic in Dodgeball and like other
Yeah,
things, and like even he does serious drama really well too.
the
Like
Brady Bunch movies. He's brilliant in that. He does like a hell of a Mike Brady impression. Uh,
absolutely,
he just like channels the spirit of Robert Reed, and yeah, he's great in Dodgeball. He's great in, yeah, most anything. He did a like a Babylon 5 spinoff in I think the early 2000s. He was great in that. That was,
yeah. Part of me would love to see like him in the MCU, but I don't know as who. But I feel like
I
he would
mean,
definitely kill it.
I, I don't think I've ever seen him give a performance where he just didn't knock it out of the park. Um, Yeah, he's just great, and it's just always a pleasure to see him. I mean, just yeah, hats off to Gary Cole. I mean, because he's just amazing,
Absolutely.
and
Uh,
he's amazing in this. I mean, he's playing her father who's trying to support his daughter on a postal worker's salary, and she's going into his mail truck and stealing money out of his mail truck.
yeah, she's opening other people's mails for like
Yeah,
birthday cards and just
mhm,
taking the money out of the cards, which is
yeah,
I believe is as they say illegal.
yeah, federal crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he's and the dad's wise to it. He's like, you can't keep doing this. I'm gonna like in 6 months, I'm gonna get my pension, and I'll be living on half salary, and I can't support the both of us. You have to get a job. And she's like, hey, I don't have to work. I am a champion. I'm hot shit. And,
Yeah, she I mean she kind of puts on this thing of like she doesn't want she also like because her father says, hey, why don't you go down to the gym that you trained at, you could be a coach, you can coach people, but she
yeah,
insists that I am not a coach, I am a star, I was on Dancing with the Stars. It's not
right,
Dancing with the Coaches, as she says, but so she thinks she's a star, but she's not doing really anything in like in gymnastics anymore to sort of keep up with that. She just sort of kind of coasting off of her fame, but not doing any. She hasn't. I think she hasn't done any actual gymnastics in forever. She just kind
right,
of, like you said, she hangs out at the mall a
yeah,
lot. She knows everybody at the mall, and she buys weed from the sneaker guy at the sneaker shop, and just kind of, you know, coast off of free food that she gets from the Sabaro
mm,
in the food court.
yep, as you do. I mean,
Yeah, living the dream.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we see her ordering at the Sbarro, and like the guy's like, okay, that'll be 9.75, and then she gets very indignant, and she's like, hey, check the wall, Buster. I eat free for life here. And
Absolutely.
yeah. And then and she's also like a shopaholic, and yeah, so she's not living her best life.
Yeah, she kind of treats everybody like garbage and like they're beneath her. And it's like you said, she's very bad Santa, very
Yeah,
Danny
very
McBride. Where
entitled, very yeah,
yeah, like a total brat, gives people the fingers, curses nonstop
yeah.
at everybody and anybody.
Yeah, this movie, by the way, it is rated R for strong sexual content, graphic, uh, graphic nudity, language,
Mm,
and gratuitous, and some I can't quite make out those, and some drug use. So yeah,
yeah,
so this movie earns its R rating, people.
it's got it all, baby.
Yeah. You read that and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
graphic sexual content and
yeah,
drug use and yeah, yeah. You're in
yeah.
for a good time.
When I see some acrobatic sex, we got you.
Yes, there is a big acrobatic sex scene. There's a big comedy. As comedy sex scenes go, this is a pretty good one, I think.
I would put it up there. Yeah, like I mean, right off the rip, of course, the MacGruber sex scene is one of my favorites, and the sex scene in, of course, Teen America World Police is like
That is up there. That is up there.
iconic. But yeah,
I have to give at least an honorable mention to the movie The Tall Guy with
oh,
Jeff Goldblum and Emma Thompson. That has a great comedy sex scene in there.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the Tall Guy. I guess it's kind of an obscure film, but I fell in love with this like in the early '90s. He's Jeff Goldblum plays like the struggling actor in England, and he falls in love with a nurse played by Emma Thompson. When they finally get together, there's this big comedic sex scene where they like basically destroy the room they're in. But
Hot.
yeah, a lot of fun. It's Richard Curtis, like before he did Four Weddings and a Funeral and
Ooh,
Love Actually and all that. So yeah, check that out.
all right,
Check
right
out the
on.
Tall Guy, people.
All right, right on.
Right on, right on. So yeah, so her dad's pressuring her to shape up
Yeah,
and get a job and do something, and like she could be a coach if she wanted to, but but yeah, she doesn't want to do that. Hope is like, no, I'm a champion. I'm a star. I
Yeah.
just want to live off my Olympic victory for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think she sees being a coach as sort of giving up on the dream of her being a big star, and I think she thinks, well, if I be a coach, then I'll kind of be forgotten in this town, and I'll be,
Hmm.
I'll be out of the spotlight, and then who will I be? It's sort of a, kind of an identity crisis type of thing.
Yeah, I'll no longer be an am is. I will be a has been.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
her dad finally decides to just play hardball, and he cuts off her $500 a week allowance. Uh, and her pills that she snorts are replaced with Flintstone vitamins.
Mm.
He locks his postal truck, which it seems like he probably should have been doing that anyway. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, like Gary Cole, he plays the father Stan. He's a bit of a maybe pushover, I guess. Like
yeah,
yeah, I mean, Haley, I mean, Hope and, Melissa Rauch's character, she kind of walks all over him and curses him out, and he
he's a
kind of,
bit of an enabler. Yeah.
yeah, he's a bit of an alien because, oh, another thing we should have mentioned at the top, it opens also this movie with them at Hope Ann's mom's funeral because I guess her mom died when Hope Ann was like about 6 months old.
Yeah.
So like I guess based on that, he's always kind of let her slide on things because the death of the mother hit her hard. Which
Yeah,
I
and she plays that card frequently too.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also living on the sympathy that for that. Like at one point, like uh, she's talking to another character who says, like, "Oh, well, my dad left when I was like 5.5," and she's like, "Well, my mom died when I was even younger, so that's worse."
I win.
Yeah,
Your dad just left. My mom is dead.
yeah. So
Yeah, again, not a likable person.
no, no, but an interesting character. I mean, I
Mm.
enjoyed following this character. I mean, I enjoyed this movie. This was actually a little better than I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting it to be at least a fair to middling movie, but I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was well done.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. And so we're also introduced to some other characters.
mhm,
One day, as Hope Ann is drinking a milkshake at the local malt shop,
mhm,
we see that a young fan who is also into gymnastics notices her. Goes by Maggie Townsend, played by
yep,
Haley Lou Richardson,
yes,
and like she's kind of known as like the next big thing in gymnastics in town, and she's also a huge fan of Hope. But Hope kind of brushes her off because she sees her as like the younger model of what she used to be.
mhm,
And then we also are introduced to Ben, played by Thomas Middleditch, from Silicon Valley. And Ben he runs the gym that Hope Ann used to train at. So he knows her. He knows her for years, and he's always had like a little crush on her.
yeah, yeah. She calls him Twitchy because he has this sort of involuntary facial tick.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
and he's like, "You're the only one who ever called me that."
yeah, I mean, they never say he has like Tourette's, but it seems Tourette's ish, kind of.
Yeah, it's probably better they don't identify, what precisely he has.
Yeah,
Um,
and also
yeah.
another thing I just noticed. Thomas Middleditch's character is named Ben, and
Mhm.
Melissa Rauch does have a brother named Ben.
Oh,
So that's like, oh,
okay.
is that about?
I guess she just likes the name Ben.
All
So,
right.
but yeah, so he's like Thomas Middleditch. He runs the local gym, and he's one of the people like involved with training this young gymnast Maggie. And Cicely Strong, by the way, plays Maggie's mother. They're like a very low income household. They live in like a trailer park, and Cicely Strong's character works as a janitor at the local college,
Yes, community college.
community college. Yes, because Amherst ain't that big of a town. I ain't a lot going on there. But
Amherst, the jewel of Ohio.
yeah, um, but so and then much to Hope's surprise, her former coach, Coach P, Elena Paklovek, who the gym is named after her. She dies of an apparent suicide, and shortly after that, her dad reads a letter from her from Coach P, saying that I'm leaving you, Hope, $500,000 if you train Maggie Townsend for the Toronto games, but no one must know, and you have to see her through to completion. Whenever her
Oh,
run at the games is done, then you will get your 500,000, $500,000,
yeah,
which
absolutely.
which we
That's
find out over the course of this movie that is the same amount of money.
what?
Yeah,
Let me
I was I was shocked too.
let me crunch the numbers here.
All right, do the math on that.
Carry the one.
Hmm.
Divided
Hmm.
by two.
Right.
I'll be damned. All right.
Yeah. Right.
The math checks out. Trust the science.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. So she, because she could use this money, you could live the rest of your life on this money. She agrees to train Maggie.
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly, and she's 8 weeks away from trials, to the national trials, to potentially get into qualify for the games. Um, but at first she decides to do like this really half-assed job at it. So she forces Maggie to eat 1,200 calories a day.
Right, because I think she said that like, oh, Michael Phelps eats this much, and he's an
Yeah,
Olympic winner, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
so like she's
And
basically
and Maggie was previously on a 500 calorie a day diet, which makes much more sense for a gymnast because you want a
yeah,
gymnast to be light. And
yeah, apparently, yeah, you do, don't you?
yeah. Um,
Um, and yeah, so it's basically, basically Hope Ann is trying to sabotage Maggie's, chances of doing anything.
right.
And like you said, like he tells her to eat all this junky food. She encourages him to hook up with a guy that she has a crush on, to like
Yeah.
over the pants
It's like
stuff.
you two need to rub your parts together.
Yeah, it's so romantic.
Yeah, and when the qualifiers uh, roll around, she makes Maggie a protein shake, and she puts like a ton of pot into it, so she's just
Yeah,
really listless and out of sorts and all that. And there's something funny about seeing characters behave as badly as possible.
it is. Yeah, I mean, if you watch like like I said, Bad Santa, Bad Teacher,
Hmm.
there is a little bit of glee people get out of seeing someone do something that's incredibly heinous.
Yes,
It
yes.
puts a little bit of a smile in your face, a little chuckle in your heart.
100%, 100%. So at the qualifiers, the judge for the qualifiers is gold Olympian Lance Tucker, played by Sebastian Stan, who you probably know from the Marvel Universe as Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier.
Right. He's also Tommy Lee in the new Pam and Tommy thing that's out on Hulu.
Yeah, which I plan on checking out soon. I haven't been able to check that out yet, but that looks really good. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
watching that.
It looks very interesting. It's always weird to see something like them coming out with a documentary or something based on something that you lived through. I was like, oh wow, I was
Mhm.
there for that. This is
Well, we are getting old.
What are you talking about? I'm young and I'll stay young forever, man.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true. I
I'm
mean,
gonna live forever.
yeah, and yeah, this movie shows kind of the dangers of living in the past. Like when Hope first sort of reconnects with Thomas Middleditch's character Twitchy, she's like, "Aren't you 12?" And he's like, "No, I was 12 in 2004 when you were at the Olympics. I'm a grown man now."
I'm a grown ass man. I do
Because
grown ass man things.
yeah, because it's been 12 years since then. So
Yeah.
um yeah, so that's fun. So yeah, so Maggie bombs her routine because Hope has just drugged her all up. uh
Right.
Lance wants to take over Maggie's training, and we find out when Hope makes an outraged phone call to her dad that she lost her virginity to Lance,
Yeah, pop.
and, and her dad says, "Hey, you're a gymnast, and your hymen broke without the help of a man."
Oh
Which, oh God help me, I laughed. That's
boy.
very funny.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I think also so the fact that now Lance wants to take over coaching duty,
Mhm.
that that sort of puts a hope in the position of, all right, no, I do want to coach her now. Now I'll show her up just to spite you, and I'll make
Yeah,
sure she's like the biggest star who goes to the game, just to piss you off, you son of a bitch.
right. And also, she finds out that if she bombs out on the training, she will not get any of
Yes,
the money. So
zero
she's like,
zero
well,
percent.
fuck, I've got to actually do a good job now.
Yeah,
So she decides to get serious about Maggie's training, and then
right,
cuts off the boy. She's like, yeah, no boys now. You can't. Uh, you can't eat the junk food anymore.
right. And no hooking up, because and then he tells the boy, absence makes the dick grow harder,
Yes,
which is that's pretty sweet.
that seems like good advice. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, and so she begins training Maggie in earnest. And then finally at the national qualifiers, Maggie places third. They've turned things around enough. Um, and Lance is appointed the women's head coach and she threatens to cut Maggie if she doesn't train with him. But Hope is like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna keep on training.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna show her
yeah.
she knows.
Hit the bricks, Bucky Barnes.
Yeah. Um, and at this point, Twitchy decides to ask Hope out to dinner, and Hope is her resistance is down enough. She's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. Oh, that's what you want to hear when you ask a girl out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's sometimes that's the best you can hope for.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm
Yeah.
floating on air.
Yay, I wore her down. Yay.
Yeah.
And he really pulls out all the stops. He takes her to the mall after closing because he's like, I know you like to eat at the diner or the mall, and you've eaten at the diner a lot lately, so I'm going to take you to the mall.
Right. I do like though that scene where they drive to the mall, and of course the mall is closed. There's nobody in the parking lot. All the lights are out, and so once he pulls up into the mall, her immediate thing to do is pull down her panties and pull her legs up right in the air.
Yeah, you see her. You see her in the passenger seat with her legs up in the air in front of her, and her panties around her ankles, and she's like, "What? This is what you wanted, right? You wanted to like fuck the Olympia?"
And Ben's like,
And
"Oh God, no! Hey, whoa,
and
what
he's
are you doing?"
like, "Oh no, I'm," and we find out that he's like that Twitchy is actually saving himself for marriage, which is sweet,
Yeah,
but
Twitchy's just like unrealistically sweet
he's a
in this
nice
whole
boy.
movie. He's
He's
a
a nice
nice,
boy.
he's a good boy.
He's a good boy, and he actually prepares like a nice sort of picnic dinner for her and inside the mall. Uh,
Right. Which I mean that's I'm trying to think if I've ever done that for anybody I've went out with. I don't think I went that far. I would just hit up a movie and go to Chuck E. Cheese and called it a night.
well, sure. I mean, but you're a romantic.
That's true. I am.
Yeah,
That's right. Movie and skee ball. That was my idea of
sure.
Lemoore.
Sure. I mean, and that's still your go-to thing for your anniversary. I understand. So
That's right. I told my wife, baby, time to get them tokens because
yeah,
we're
we're
about to
getting
hit.
all the tickets tonight.
That's right. Some air hockey,
Each man is ours.
some Pizzeria Uno. That's a more to me.
Sometimes the Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, grown ups now. We don't do Chuck E. Cheese. We
Oh,
do Dave and Buster's, like grown ups, John.
all right, all right, all right. Um, so they have kind of a sweet first date, and they bond a little bit. They do a little like truth or dare, and we learn a little more about both of them. And we learn that she's like not a completely horrible person. Um,
Right, and we also learned more about her relationship with her old coach, Coach P,
Hmm.
about like how like after she got the bronze, the doctors say that she needed to really rest her Achilles heel, but
Hmm.
she wanted to go back out there immediately. And I guess the coach kind of let her, and then she had like another accident, and then that kind of knocked her out like permanently from gymnastics.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then yeah, and then after shortly after this, she finds out that Coach P was or during the date, Twitchy tells her that Coach P was actually deeply in debt, and the gym is very close to closing. So she's like, "Well, what? Wait, what about the $500,000 that she had?"
Oh, I think that comes later in the movie, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, that was my next note, so
Got it.
maybe
All
I
right.
didn't take for a little bit, but that struck me as the next significant plot point. But do you have something else to say before that?
No, no, no. That was I think yeah, I think like after they had like a really nice dinner at the mall, and then they bonded, and it was very sweet, and then they went on to like the big game, and it's then it's Melissa, not Melissa, Maggie, doing her best in the gymnastics, and then I think then they meet up for drinks again because I think in the mall they had a
Okay,
shared a kiss.
so it was their second date.
Yes, this is the second date at the bar with them talking, and this is like the only time we see her not in her warm up outfit too, showing that she
Mhm.
might have some personal growth, and she might be kind of done with the. She might be starting to move on from the past and not and live in the now.
Yeah, she actually is sort of embracing who she is. Like, Twitchy tells her like, "Oh, you shouldn't," because like she's, we find out she's like uh, binding her breasts so she can still like appear as the I guess not prepubescent, but like a young teenager, the young teenage gymnast that she was, and he's like, "No, you're actually a grown woman. You should be that."
Let them things
And
free.
yeah, and she convinces her to stop that. Um, and but yeah, so then she discovers that Coach P was actually in debt. There is no nest egg that she was going to get, and then she discovers that that suicide note that her dad read to her, that was supposedly from Coach P, was actually written by her dad because he wanted to basically uh, trick her into accepting the coaching job.
Right. He wanted to motivate her to be more than she was.
Yeah,
And I mean it did work, but
yeah.
it only begs the question, all right, so what were you gonna do when the whole teaching coaching thing was over and she was looking for money? Like that's you gotta come up with a 500 thou right quick.
Yeah. I don't think he was. I don't think he was thinking that far ahead.
Yeah. He wasn't playing the long game.
Yeah, I guess not.
But yeah, so at this point, Hope Ann is like totally upset with her father, saying, "You ruined my life because I didn't want to do this anyway," and
Hmm.
blah blah blah, and like she's like very despondent at this point.
Yeah.
And so yeah, her coach committed suicide. She's flat broke. Her dad betrayed her. The dad also has some weird relationship with this goldfish. Apparently, this goldfish, Bradley, that he
Yeah.
talks to when he's having problems with Hope Ann. That's kind of run throughout the movie, which I thought was interesting too.
Yeah, yeah. He's like feeding the goldfish. It's like one of the highlights of his day, and she's just like, he has no idea who you are.
That's a goldfish, Dad.
That's a goldfish. They've got like a 2-second memory.
Right,
So yeah, she is feeling kind of down. So she ends up at the bar hooking up with Lance, and we see the big comedy sex scene that we talked about before, where they're having all sorts of Olympic sex. There's all sorts of gymnastics moves in
right.
this, and it's I guess we should say that it is not Melissa Rauch in the scene. They kind of disguise it with like low lighting and a lot of quick cuts in the hotel room.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I mean, when they meet up at the bar, it's like Lance. There was this one line I thought was kind of funny where
Mhm.
Lance notices that Hope doesn't have her boobs taped down; they're just
Yeah.
out on display, out and proud. And And Lance says, "Oh, I see you got the Dream Killers out tonight."
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, big breasts are not an advantage for a gymnast.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah,
In
so I,
any other field of work, they kind of are, but gymnastics, not so much.
yeah, I suppose so. Um, but yeah, him calling them the Dream Killers is kind of funny.
Yeah, and then said, "No, I was just being. I was just kidding. You have very nice cans."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's chivalrous.
Yes. And yes, and that's enough to for them to hook up in this, yeah, like you said, crazy sex scene, very acrobatic. It's like
Yeah,
them getting in all these positions, doing like balance beams on their
yeah, yeah,
and like high lifts. It's a workout.
yeah, yeah.
I think
It is something else.
Yeah, I think at one point like Sebastian gets naked and we see he has like uh like the ribbon of a gold medal tattooed on his chest, but the gold medal is supposed to be his junk, his hog.
Yeah, it's down on his stomach. It's like a sort of like a treasure trail, I guess.
Yeah, and of course he points at it and says, "Go for the gold.
Yeah.
Get
So
it? Because the gold's his penis."
yeah, yeah. So,
Mm.
um, and then of course, um, we actually have a clip that we can play later on where she talks about where Melissa Rauch talks about picking out her body double for this part of the movie because she even though she co-wrote the movie she was like I don't want to be naked in my own movie, which her prerogative.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, and the scene works perfectly well with somebody who can do all those moves for real and
Yeah,
is also
absolutely.
willing to get naked.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, if you could choose your own body double, do it, people. I know I have Terry Crews standing by if I
Sure.
ever in a movie where I need a body double.
Right. I mean, I've got Chris Hemsworth on speed dial for when we do the SNL Nerds movie and we have the inevitable nude scenes. So,
That's fair enough.
yeah. um, yeah, but then unfortunately, just then as Lance and Hope are going at it by the window, and they've got the rings up by the
Uh,
window for their latest position. Twitchy comes by and sees them in the window, and
oh,
he's like, "Oh, that's not
oh,
good. This is not good for me.
mm,
The girl I like and that I've been dating is having
getting
gymnastic sex with this other dude.
getting
That's
railed hard by
yeah,
the Winter Soldier.
yeah, yeah. So that's not good. So the next day at the Toronto games, he, Twitch breaks up with Hope, and he's like, "Hey, I'm still gonna be here for Maggie because it's important to be here for her, but you and I are done." And Hope, kind of realizes, "Oh, I've really screwed up here."
Yeah,
So
and of course, Lance comes in and he's a big old jerk. He even says, "Oh, the
yeah,
sex wasn't even that great."
yeah.
Like right in front of her.
You
So
were a lousy lay in 2004. You're a lousy lay now.
yeah,
So
so just the real heartwarming dude.
he's a class act. This guy. And we see Hope, and and she's she's worried that if Maggie does well in the games, that she is going to eclipse her in terms of fame because like she's from the same hometown.
Right,
She wins the gold. That's of course going to be better than a bronze winner. So we see a scene where she like fantasizes about telling Maggie that her mom's plane crashed. Her mom is there. Cecily Strong is up there in the cheap seats to like cheer her on, and it's so sad. She's like, "Oh, I talked to my boss and I'm gonna be there, but I'm gonna be there kind of late." So she
right.
apparently was working that day before traveling up to Toronto.
From Amherst, Ohio,
Yeah,
to Toronto. That's like
I'm
a
not
whole
sure how
day
many
trip.
hours. Yeah, I'm not sure how many hours that is, but I mean, but
That
she's there. She wants to support her daughter, and she like calls Hope on the cell, and she's like, "Yeah, tell her I'm here and I'm cheering her on. Yay!"
Yeah, I mean that's not like a subway ride. That's like a you got to plan that. That's a whole thing.
Yeah, um, but but yeah, we see her fantasize about telling Maggie right before her routine, like, "Oh, your mom died in the plane crash on the way up here, so
Ugh.
welcome to the Dead Mom Club." Yeah,
Yeah.
and we see in the fantasy sequence, it's in the electronic board that displays her score. It just says sucks,
Yeah, because she
and that's
sucks.
and that's when we kind of slowly realize, oh, this is a dream sequence, and then yeah, and then she comes out of it.
Right. And yeah, but then we see that she thinks better of it, and she decides to tell Maggie that your mom's on her way. She's just running late,
Yeah, yeah.
showing that she's slowly turning a corner and trying to become a better person.
Right, right, and we she like sees her mom and stands later and waves at her, so that's
Yay!
yay. Um, so Maggie, because she has that encouragement and that support, she ends up winning the gold, and then and then Hope is despondent. We see her like walking out of the arena because she realizes this is kind of the end of the line for her.
Right, kind of the beginning of the end.
Yeah, because we got a new one. We got a new Olympian, and she's won the gold, and she's more recent, and yay, um,
We have a shiny new toy! Yay!
yay. And then after that, we see Hope back home in Amherst, and she's kind of drowning her sorrows, and she sees the TV at the diner. Maggie announces that she's moving to Los Angeles, and that Lance is going to be her new coach.
Yeah, that surprised me kind of when I first saw it. Just because
Yeah.
just because like the way they made her character Maggie, she was like very loyal to Hope and she idolized her.
Hmm.
Even like you said a couple minutes ago when after she doped her up full of weed in that smoothie, and she was like she was tripping balls,
Right.
and
I
at
don't think
that
she ever caught on to that though.
oh okay, but
Yeah.
still like she was yeah I guess I guess she was like oh yeah that was weird I don't know why I was feeling so weird the other day anyway
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah
Oh, I was having an off day.
yeah but yeah so like during that part we see Lance talk to Maggie's mom saying yeah Hope is not the best coach for you you should have her coach with me I won silver and gold and everything I'd be better for her career but even then Maggie was like no I want to stay with Hope she knows she has my best interests at heart even though
Yeah.
at that point she didn't so she seemed like really like she's like very loyal and innocent so for her to kind of have that twisted like that and be like, "Oh, I want the gold now, so I'm moving to LA and Lance is my, coach." That kind of
Mm.
took me by surprise, but I guess it would make sense like if you're somebody who just had their first taste of victory like
Yeah.
this and like you're at the beginning of what could be a big and long career, you would do something like that, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, she says, like in her statement that, and she's reading this. It's almost like a hostage video. The way she's reading this is obviously something that's been written for her, probably by Lance. And she's like, after many long discussions with my mother,
Hmm.
and because a gold Olympian understands the problems of a gold Olympian. I keep saying Olympian. It's not. They never refer to it as the Olympics in the movie, but
John, we're gonna get sued. Don't say that.
but I keep saying Olympics because, well, it's easier. And
Say the big game.
if this movie has taught me anything, it's that you should always go down the path of least resistance and do the easiest thing.
Go down.
That was yeah, and you go down and have the Olympic sex
Uh,
with body double,
and the dismount.
and the dismount. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah. So yeah, so she's a gold medal winner, understands the problems of a gold medal winner, and so yeah, so she's going for the brass ring. Um,
Uh-huh.
So, and then shortly after that, in Amherst, Maggie doesn't show up for a mall appearance. She doesn't even go back to the old hometown.
She's changed.
She's changed. She's moved on. She's shaken the off the dust of
That
that two-bit town.
yeah, that
Yeah,
podunk hole in the wall.
she's off to see the world with
Yeah,
Bucky the Winter Soldier,
that's
and
right. Peace, peace out, Amherst.
yeah,
Deuces.
yeah. She's like, "See ya. I'm off with the dude from Hot Tub Time Machine."
Let's think of other Sebastian. I Tanya. I'm off with Jeff Galooly over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Hope is there, and she gives a speech to the town about it's kind of a freestyle speech about how she still appreciates the town even if Maggie doesn't.
Yeah, and yeah, it seems like she's like sort of starting to become okay with not being the town darling that she used to be, and she's going towards being the person that she wants to be,
Hmm.
as it were.
Yeah.
Much like your body double Chris Hemsworth at the end of Endgame, where he wants to be. He's not becoming. He's done with becoming who he was meant to be, and he's
Hmm.
going towards becoming who he wants to be.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Hmm. I can always throw in a good MCU reference here or there, people.
Oh yes, 100%,
Hmm.
100%. And so then after that, to see how things have changed, we see Hope calls Twitch and she says, "Hey, meet me at the gym in just a little bit." And he,
Right,
because he's a nice guy, he agrees to, and he goes, and we see Hope there, and she's selling off her old Olympic gear to donate to the gym to raise money to keep it open.
right, because the gym was going under. Actually, it did went under. I think they said the bank took it on Monday.
Right. Because Maggie wasn't there to support it anymore.
Right, exactly. Like Maggie was the great hope
Yes.
to keep it open, and so since she bounced to L.A. to La La Land, so
Hmm.
that's all hope is lost.
Yep.
Hope, but then hope comes back and
Hope
sells
comes
off her
back
stuff.
in the form of Hope,
That's
selling
it.
off her old Olympic gear. So yeah. So hometown hero makes good, and she apologizes to Twitch. She was like, "Hey, I did some really shitty stuff to you. I don't think I deserve an apology, but I'd still like one." And he forgives her because he is a nice guy, and
Yeah, and
I don't think I would do the same thing in his shoes.
yeah, I mean, seeing the girl you like get banged out by another dude, that kind of I don't know if there's any coming back from that. From
Yeah,
for me, I'll say just for me. If you can, if you're cool with that, hey, go with God. You're a better man than me. But like
yeah,
after that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go. This is
yeah,
that's not cool. Banged out by the window of a La Quinta Inn or wherever they were. I
yeah.
ain't I ain't
Yeah.
crazy about that.
Hmm.
And also Hope sort of makes peace or is nicer to her dad too, like saying
Yeah,
thank you.
she redoes the number one dad cup that she broke in a fit of rage earlier in the movie.
Right. So she's slowly trying and learning to become a better person.
She's
And
making amends. It's like she went through a 12-step program.
yes, we're at the final step, acceptance.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, she's becoming a better person. I don't know if she's still finger blasts to herself to her old videos, but we're working towards a better future.
Probably not, because we see in a deleted scene from the movie that her videotape of her Olympic victory actually broke.
Oh,
The machine ate it. So yeah, that was edited out of the final cut. So I don't know if that's still canon in the
mhm.
Bronze universe, but apparently she cannot no longer finger blast herself
Oh,
to her victory.
that's why I got to switch it all over to digital, people. Hey,
This is why you need to upgrade your home video
that's
formats
right. CDs or
to keep that masturbation routine intact.
that's right. Switch it over to DVDs, people. It's the
At
future.
minimum, DVDs at minimum. I mean, really, go Blu-ray or
Yeah,
stream, perhaps.
yeah. Treat yourself.
Yeah, her dad was like, "Hey, I'm sure you could still watch it on YouTube," and she's like, "I don't want to watch it on YouTube. I want to watch it on the way I've been watching it."
Oh,
Change is hard.
oh, she was like those people that still listen to vinyl. It's like how it's meant
Exactly.
to be heard.
It's just a richer sound quality. So anyway, so Hope decides to start giving gymnastics lessons in the neighborhood at the gym, and that helps save the gym. It generates the interest that they need. So she's giving gymnastics lessons to the neighborhood kids, and so she's turned around.
Right, and then we have a little epilogue at the end where it has some text on the bottom and some pictures.
Like American Graffiti
Mm.
and Animal House or That Thing You Do. We have a little text update that tells us what happens to all the characters after the movie we finished watching.
right. Yeah, so we learned Maggie wasn't able to go for the gold. Her career was cut short because she got knocked up by Lance.
Yeah, she's pregnant with Lance Tucker's baby, so she wasn't able to compete for another gold. But
Did not see that coming.
yeah, that's a twist.
Yeah, part of me was like, wait, how old was Maggie supposed to be? Because that's ooh.
Teenagerish. I'm just saying. I hope she was past the age of consent.
Oh boy.
But then it says Stan is enjoying having his little girl back, and we see him with the mug, and it says Bradley still doesn't know he exists. So that's sort of a mixed bag for her dad Stan. Um, but it says Hope and Ben went on to coach hundreds of children at the Pavlik Gregory Gymnastics Center. To
Oh.
date, none of it have made it to the games or even a national championship. Thankfully, Amherst still has Hope's bronze to be proud of. And we see the sign that said Amherst home to Maggie Townsend and Hope and Gregory. We see that being changed to just home to Hope and Gregory because she appreciates where she came from.
Yeah, that was interesting because I don't know. Part of me was like, I don't know how I feel about that, just because I thought the arc with the whole movie was that she was able to sort of get past her past and move on to the future. But it seemed like towards the end they kind of tossed Maggie aside, and she was still kind of. I guess she wasn't clinging to her past, but like I don't know. I don't know. A part of me that saw that I was like, I guess I get where they were going with that, but uh, I don't know. I can't. Maybe I can't explain it right.
Okay.
But yeah, I, don't know, I thought it was an interesting
I
choice.
think it was more just about how the town appreciates her more, because
Hmm.
she appreciates the town. So
Yeah,
that
that
was
makes
how I took it.
yeah that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, that's the movie. The Bronze, not a bad movie. It's a cool little movie. I thought it
I
was all
enjoyed
right.
it. Yeah, I thought it was well done. I thought it was well done. Although I just saw this on the Goose page on the movie's IMDb. It says Hope adds raw weed to the smoothie. This will not work in real life since raw weed will not make you high. Well, now
Hmm.
now this entire movie just falls apart.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
What are you gonna have a raw weed smoothie now just to prove the IMDb?
I'll show you IMDb. That's right. I'll show you what. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I like this movie. I thought it was a cute little movie. All shot on location in Amherst, Ohio.
Yeah.
Shot in 22 days. That's a pretty quick shoot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was trying to find out why this movie was like so under the radar and why it didn't get promoted that much.
Mhm.
Like I'm able to find interviews that they did, like roundtable interviews online that the
Yeah.
cast did, but I mean, yeah, again, like I don't remember seeing too many trailers for it in movie theaters. I don't remember seeing too many commercials for it on TV. I don't remember it being in the theaters that long. It just kind of
I mean, it just didn't get a very wide release. Apparently, I mean, I don't know how many theaters it was in, but it didn't earn that much. So yeah, I guess the studio just kind of buried it, or just decided it didn't. The audience wasn't there. Who knows?
I guess so. But yeah, the Bronze. I liked it, and yeah, guys, give it a look if you want. It's on Hulu. You can just
Yeah,
watch on Hulu.
worth checking out. There are some funny moments in it, and it's well done, and it's surprisingly heartfelt at times.
Yeah, surprisingly. Yeah, thumbs up, we'd say.
Yeah, definitely thumbs up for me. I'd like to see more Melissa Rauch movies. I don't know if she's getting other turns at bat. I don't really know what she's done since Big Bang Theory ended like a year or so back. Oh yeah, that's right. She's doing a revival of Night Court. That's coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she plays like Harry Stone's daughter, right?
Yes. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be checking that out. I watched a lot of Night Court back in the day.
Okay.
So
Mm,
yeah, yeah. I just clicked on her IMDb page and yeah.
okay.
So
All right. Fantastic. And also, I didn't know that she was also a stand-up comedian too.
yeah,
She
that's
did.
why she was on Best Week Ever.
Oh,
hmm
all right. Yeah, she
I
had like
don't
a.
know. I don't know if she still is a working stand-up comic. She might have stepped away from that and is just more about the acting now. But I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Maybe she still does.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. And yeah, that's the bronze, guys. That's our take on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had like a few tweets about it, and I know we definitely had like a text or a message that we wanted to talk about on the podcast as well.
Yeah, actually, I mean, while we're still talking about the movie, I've got a clip from Conan O'Brien when Melissa Rauch was promoting the movie, and she was talking about picking out her body double for the film. So I will just play that.
Ooh, let's get into it.
You had a body double for your nude scenes.
I did.
And this is something I'm always curious about. Do you get to pick that woman? Is that your decision? And how do you do it?
This was the best shopping experience of my life. Getting to pick my naked body double. It was better than Amazon Prime. Like, we just got a bunch of pictures and I was like, I will take one of those and one of those. And I mean, my husband was with me choosing them and he was like trying to act all professional. I was like, yeah, no, I think that looks like you. That's good. No, that she looks very nice. I got kind of creepy. I was like, I want to see some side boob. Can we get a picture of her side boob?
So you were the creep in this scenario.
I was the full-on creep. Yeah.
Wow. So it's all photos. You don't look at pictures. I mean, you look at pictures, you don't meet the person, or eventually you meet the person on the set, but it's not like they come in and you get to, yeah.
No, I didn't get to like examine the merchandise before I bought
What kind of question am I asking?
Yeah, exactly.
That was a fun look into my mind. Bring her here.
That's good.
Ow!
That feels like me.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel as a woman. You had a bit of an issue because you and your husband, you wrote the script and then you had to make this, and you were very conscientious about making sure that you kept the cost down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a scene that required the use of a creepy guy in the script.
Yes, that is.
And this was a problem finding the creepy guy. Is that right?
Well, we knew we had to use local casting for that because we didn't have the finances to bring someone out from LA to Ohio where we're shooting. And our director had said, just for background actors, like, keep an eye out. We want to make sure we're populating the town with people who really live here. But for creepy guy, we were just going to go with an actual local casting, through the casting director, but an actor.
But let's be careful. This is someone that you had to have kind of an intimate scene with.
Yes. So the creepy guy was supposed to have sex with me in a bathroom stall.
Right.
And it's very
romantic.
Very
Nice.
Yeah. We draw from life experiences from what we write.
Yeah.
So.
I let you borrow my experience for that one. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So we were still looking for this actor, and my husband calls me from a Bob's Big Boy in Ohio. I'm at the production office. He's like, I found our creepy guy. So, what do you mean? He's like, he's outside. He's sweeping the floor. I don't even think he works here, but he's got a wooden tooth. He's got a yellow shirt, and I think he's perfect. I was like, he's not an actor? And he's like, no, I got his AOL address. He's totally on board. This is a gentleman who needs to take your wife from behind on camera. We need a trained professional for this. But your
husband was willing to get a guy who's wandering around a Bob's Big Boy with a wooden tooth.
Yes.
That's a nice partner you have there in life.
Husband of the year.
So that's
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yay! So yeah, they had some interesting experiences making this movie.
Including her husband being like, "Hey, this seemingly homeless man by the Bob's Big Boy, you want to have a go at him, yeah?"
And this is her husband. I love that.
I'm assuming he was kidding, but if he wasn't, that's hilarious.
He's either very eager or has a very good sense of humor.
Love is in the air.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a good movie. It's worth checking out. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. I've seen it like streaming a couple places. I don't think it was streaming anywhere at the moment, but I was able to find a copy at my local library.
No, it's streaming on Hulu.
It's streaming on Hulu. So go do that.
I just said it.
Okay. Well, I only listen to 50% about what you say.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
See what I did there? That's called comedy. Comedy
Yeah.
timing, people. Boom.
Okay. Well, if you say so.
I do say so.
But yeah, no, it's good stuff, and it's a good comedic performance by Melissa Rauch. And she's not like, if you know her from The Big Bang Theory, she's not doing like her Bernadette voice in this movie. She has a different sort of comedic voice. She has a plethora of comedic voices.
Yeah, her voice in this one it's very much Midwest,
Mhm.
Chicago,
Yeah,
Da Bears
yeah,
super fans voice. Very
hmm
very thick Chicago accent.
yeah, yeah.
And it's yeah, it works for the character.
Yep,
Absolutely.
yep.
So yeah, so that's the bronze.
That's the bronze.
Hmm. And yeah, I guess that's our episode, but I guess we should also kind of wrap it up with we got a bit of what you call it? We got a message from a listener.
Yes, we did. We did. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, yeah, I got this here. And no, actually, I'm going to go to it in Messenger because I
Okay.
can read it there. Um,
Okay. I got it up if you want me to read it.
yeah, yeah, you go for it. Go for it.
All right, so a couple days ago we learned from super producer Frank Kablawi, the Lauren Michaels of our podcast,
Yes.
that we got a message on the Non-Pro site about our last episode from a fan, Amanda. So
Yeah.
Amanda, this one goes out to you. I don't know
But
why I turned into Casey Kasem. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why either.
I was Wolfman Jack in the beginning. Now I'm Casey Kasem. It's very. I'm gonna be
Go
all the
through
DJs.
all the DJs.
Yes, Dr.
Yeah.
Johnny Fever, rest in
Mhm.
peace. I'm gonna be him next.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna be Rick Dees and do a little disco dance in a bit.
Rick Dees. Oh shit.
That's
All
right.
right. I haven't heard that name in for. Oh, okay.
All
All
right.
right.
We're getting sidetracked. Let's go on
Sorry.
to Amanda.
Sorry. Right. All right. So this is from Amanda. So I just wanted to point out something. I just wanted to point something out since y'all had quite the comments about the actress who played Flo from Progressive, laugh emoji. Her name is Jennifer Courtney, and she actually has an extensive filmography as a character actress. Progressive is steady pay, her steady pay, but off the top of my head, she was in episodes of Angel, Buffy the Vampire Slayer spinoff. I know what Angel is.
Yeah, we know what Angel is.
Come on,
we
we're nerds.
come by our nerd's name, honestly.
We're nerds. Don't. Yeah, come on. Come on. And has a recurring role on the Goldbergs.
I didn't know that. I've seen the odd episode of the Goldbergs, but I've never seen her pop up on the show. But
Yeah,
that's
same.
cool.
Same. But since we're talking about SNL and sketch comedy, I have to point out that she was a main cast member of the Groundlings, and she still goes back and performs shows with them all the time. I think Heidi even has performed with her before.
Okay.
So yeah, that's good to know.
All right. Well, I
also-
mean, I honestly don't remember talking about Flo the Progressive Lady much in the last episode. I think I just made some joke about how she's like playing different characters in the commercials now to like show off her versatility.
yeah,
Because yeah, I was more. I didn't really mean that as a bash against her, but I just it's just a tough thing when like you become best known for a commercial. You know?
yeah, we have no hate for. I don't even remember talking about Flo either, but
Neither do I. Neither
We-
do I. I don't listen to every episode of the podcast. So sometimes
No.
we record this and I just go blank on it afterwards.
I just black out on
Yeah.
when I'm talking. I don't even know what I'm saying. But yeah, like we have no ill will towards Flo. No Flo hate. Only love.
But it's just she's been doing those commercials forever, and you just know that the typecasting is just going to get worse because. Yeah, there. I'm sure there are people who are like, "Oh, well, we don't want to cast her because she's known as that character." It's it's like the "Can you hear me now" guy or something.
Yeah, or the Old Spice guy.
Right.
one of those things.
Or the guy from the beer commercial who goes, "Are we having fun yet?"
Oh,
You know.
oh, I can't wait for that reboot to come.
Oh God, I cannot wait for Party Down to come back.
Oh.
That is the best show. Check out Party Down if you have not already.
Also on Hulu. Trust me, it's Party. Oh, I really wish somebody from SNL was on Party Down just so we could talk about it. I don't think they were.
We gotta find it. Yeah, let's see. Adam Scott, Jane Lynch, Martin Starr, Ryan Hansen, what's her name?
Liz Kaplan. Lizzie
Lindsay
Kaplan.
Kaplan. Yeah, I want to call her Lindsay for some reason because
No.
that's the character name.
Megan
So-
Mullally, Ken Marino.
yeah.
There's a lot of people from the state on it. It's
Are
so
there any
close to be.
SNL guest stars on it? I can't recall any right now.
I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch.
Yeah, maybe in the reboot. Anyway, it's coming back, and we're excited. I mean that
Yes.
was a swiftly canceled show. Just lasted like 2 seasons on Stars. I think like 10 episodes a season.
Yeah, it's deserves way more love than it got.
Yeah.
Guys, we highly recommend you watch Party Down on Hulu.
We are both
It'll
huge Party Down fans. If like
absolutely.
tomorrow you came to us and be like, this is now a Party Down podcast, we're like, okay, cool. We can only do 20 more episodes, but hey, cool.
Yeah. Party Downcast.
Party Down cast. Maybe we should do a limited run Party Down podcast.
Maybe. Ooh, I like this.
That might be fun.
Ooh.
But anyway, Amanda has more to say.
Oh, right, yeah.
I can read the second half of hers.
Yeah, go for it.
She says, also, not a bad episode, but there was some different fun stuff. There was some different fun stuff in there. But for me, the highlight truly was Willem Dafoe. He got so into things, like the amazing actor he is, so things were more enjoyable because of him. Also, loved Bowen and 80 on Update. I adore both of them, so it was a nice pair. And I was happy to see 80 do an Update character, since the only one she's ever done that didn't work for me was the Mother Earth thing. Excited for Mulaney later this month. Us too. Another 5-timer this season. Every host this season has been either a first-timer or a 5-timer. That's interesting. I hadn't made that connection, but I think you're absolutely right. And if he wants to do a musical sketch, as you do, or he does do, we'll have Cecily back, so it'll sound a lot better. I'm not sure if Cecily's going to come back in time for Mulaney or not. I'm not sure when exactly her Broadway show is ending, and I don't. Would she have to like isolate for 5 days after that? I don't know.
That's a good point.
Be a little tight for that. I would love to see her back. I mean, if she can't come back to the show quickly enough for my money. She says, "Let me know if you would." Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was something that Frank said. But thank you very much for that, Amanda. We appreciate the feedback.
Thanks, Amanda. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So tip of the hat to Amanda. And if you want to write us through the Non-Pro site, or tell us what you think of the show over on Twitter, or go review the podcast on the podcast app of your choice. We always love hearing that.
Oh yeah, we love to engage. We love to hear feedback. What we are doing right, what we're doing wrong. Just get at us. You can follow us on Twitter at SNL Nerds Show. Tweet at us. Give us a follow. We'll follow you back as long as you're not like spam or some weirdo creep.
Yeah.
Somebody who wants like pictures of our feet or something. We'll follow you back. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Trumbull Comic, TRUMBULL, and the word comic. So, and you can also donate to our Patreon over at Non-Productive.com. So just go on there and hit the button for Patreon, or search for SNL Nerds, and you can donate for that and help keep the show going.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then that's our episode, guys. So should we talk about what we're gonna do next?
Yeah, next week, as you may know, the Superb Owl game is going on. So we thought we would do something football related. Football.
Yes. As the French say, football.
The football. So we we racked our brains. We were like, what football type things has an SNL cast member done? And we realized that Adam Sandler has done a couple of them. So we decided to do his remake of The Longest Yard from a few years back.
Yes, Longest Yard from 2005. Wow, that was.
Oh, wow, that's from further back than I realized.
Yeah, geez, 15 years ago. God damn. But yeah, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, Burt Reynolds, Nelly, my body double, Terry Crews, and I believe who else is in this thing? Michael Irvin, Burt Reynolds. I said. Tracy Morgan's in it somewhere. Nicholas Turturro.
Who
Oh,
knows?
a lot of
Who knows
dudes.
we'll find out where he is in this.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye out for Tracy Morgan.
Yeah. Where's Tracy Morgan?
We need more Tracy Morgan.
You better not be getting nobody pregnant.
So yeah, I've only seen a little bit of this movie on TV. I think that I remember watching the beginning of it years ago, but I didn't stick around for the entire thing. I don't remember why. I don't remember if I like turned it off or just had something else going on. But yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, like this is one of those movies that was like kind of always on TBS or TNT all the time. But like I've never seen this. This would be I'm be going in cold. It was the first time for me.
And I've not seen the original Longest Yard either with Burt Reynolds, who I know also plays a part in the remake.
Same. I haven't seen that either. I just know the premise is like a famous football player gets locked up in the Hoosgow, and he somehow sets up a thing where it's like the inmates against the guards in a game of football.
Convicts against the guards. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
And it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, who says you can't have some laughs in prison?
No, not me. So that's what we're doing next week. That's our Super Bowl show. So we'll check that out next week. So yeah.
Yeah, so check it out, and that's our episode, guys. Thanks again so much for listening. Please keep following. Please keep leave reviews, do all that jazz, and
rate, review, and subscribe. And we'll see you back here next week. And until then, nerd out.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.